What's up, Mr. Usually I have Mr. Primetime here, but we have a very special guest. We have Adam Gase tonight joining us, which is this is an honor to have Adam Gase live on Let's Talk Jets radio live stream. I mean, this is getting better than this. Coach Gase, how you doing, man?
Doing well. Just got finished watching the film. Ready to answer some questions.
Yeah, can you tell me why you're keeping Dowell Loggins as the play caller? Can you help me with this?
Well, I mean, he really can't do much worse of a job than what I was doing. But, listen, if you saw the way that Dowell called plays in practice, you would understand. The offense is just rolling. He's calling the plays in practice. We look good. We figure, we might as well try to translate it over to game day. Let's see what happens.
So, Coach, this is a big week where you're playing one of the best teams in football. Your team is 0-7. How are you feeling about this? Are you feel inspired? I mean, you're getting a lot of your rookies now. You have all this going. I mean, what are you thinking, man?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you watch this team in practice, you see the way they compete. We're just getting after it. These guys are really coming together, and you just can't put a price on that. The work ethic of these guys, the way they're coming together right now in practice every day, you're going to see something special on Sunday.
Now, Coach, and we definitely appreciate your time. The Thursday before a big game against the Chiefs, and you have all these rookies coming in, and your biggest some of your critics have said that you don't play that you don't play the rookies. Well, are you going to play some of the rookies this weekend by chance?
Well, good thing I'm not on social media, so I don't really hear any of the critics at all. So I'm able to phase all that stuff out. Frank Gore all day.
Frank Gore, yeah, and that's the one thing, Coach, that you featured Frank Gore a lot, but P. Ryan played a little bit last week. He showed some positivity. Denzel Mims played. Coach, are you going to keep playing this? Keep playing the rookies more, or are you going to just go hot as hand here?
We're going to roll with the hot hand. Whoever's playing well in practice right now, which is pretty much everybody. Again, if you see this team out there in practice, these guys are always getting after it. They're always working hard. They're always competing. So we're going to give the opportunities to the guys who are going out there and really getting it done in practice, which is everybody.
Now, Coach Gase, there is a rumor this week that Quinnen Williams was going to be on the trade block, but then that was quickly squashed. Can you give us some comments on that?
No, Quinnen Williams is Jet. He's not going anywhere. We have no interest in trading Quinnen Williams. And I'm sure you read the report by Brian Costello, who's a fine journalist.
Now, the rebuttal to that could be, you said the same thing about Jamal Adams and he was traded. So who should we believe here?
Well, I don't really want to get into what happened with Jamal Adams. He's in a good situation right now. We're happy for Jamal. He was fine while he was a Jet, but it just didn't work out.
So now the other question is, what are your thoughts about, you're going against one of your former players this weekend, Le'Veon Bell, who, had a nice little burst last week. Are you afraid of what Le'Veon Bell can do, or do you think he's washed up?
No, listen, it's a shame things didn't work out here with Le'Veon Bell. He's a good, he's a talented player. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out, and he's in a better situation right now, and we're happy for him, and we'll see what he does on Sunday.
Now, Coach Gase, earlier this year, there was reports that Frank Gore was actually the better running back in camp as opposed to Le'Veon Bell. Can you comment on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why we've been, featuring him so much. He's a pro's pro. There's nobody better on first down. He can hammer the rock inside the tackles, and, he's best for this organization right now.
Now, the other kind of conspiracy theory we have is that, in theory, I don't want to insult you, Coach, but, people kind of say that you have scapegoats. And that you had a riff with Greg Williams. So can you comment on that relationship? Are you guys still on the same page, or is this a problem? Or
yeah, listen, everybody's on the same page here. We talk every day. There's no scapegoats. Everybody that walks in that building, we all have the same purpose. We all want to win. We're all in this together. There's no individuals on this team.
So are you saying that your defense, you have no problems with the defense? Greg Williams doing an excellent job. So if they happen to give up 40 points on Sunday, that's not a problem. It's kind of expected, or how would you evaluate his job so far?
Well, we'll see. If ownership eventually decides that I need to be fired, then yeah, Greg Williams will probably be the one that has to go. And then, if there's still issues beyond that, then it'll be Sam Darnold. And then, once I don't have anybody else to blame, then we'll see what happens with Trevor Lawrence. And, now he's got COVID. He might not want to come here. We'll see where things go.
Well, Coach, it's funny you mentioned Sam Darnold, because you were kind of brought here to help Sam Darnold, but now you're giving the play calling to Dowell Loggins. What is the thought process behind that? Is it that you couldn't help Sam Darnold, or do you want Coach Loggins to help him more?
Just to put a different voice in his ear. clearly the offense wasn't doing too much with me. We were last in almost every single category. So I might as well give Dowell a shot. He's been a soldier, throughout my time, with him calling plays, and he does it well in practice, as I said. So let's see what he can do on game day. And, we like what we did, the first quarter. The offense was moving, and we just kind of stalled out. I don't really know what happened. I didn't see all the film yet, but I'm going to get to it.
You didn't see the film yet? I mean, dude,
Not
it's
all of it
Thursday.
yet.
I mean,
we're still working. Listen, we're still working here.
So, Coach Gase, I mean, the only question I would have for that, and I know that you're a prominent, you're an NFL head coach, but if you were hired to coach the offense and run the offense and work with the quarterback, and you give up your play calling responsibilities, isn't that a kind of an indictment on you and your performance?
No, not at all. Listen, this is an opportunity for me to oversee the entire team, get involved with the defense a little bit, oversee the entire operation.
Okay, but then if you're doing that, then if you're not responsible for the offensive play calling and Greg Williams runs the defense, what exactly are you doing on game day?
That's a very good question, and I don't really have an answer for you right now.
So I didn't mean to stop you, Coach. I apologize for that. So if you look at overall, you're 0-7 now, and the fans. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Let's Talk Jets Radio, which you're on right now, thankfully, and we appreciate this, Coach Gase. This is truly an honor to have the ability to interview you right now. The fans are very angry with you. The media is very angry with you. There's all kinds. They want to do petitions. They really want to run you out of town. How can you save your job over the next 9 games?
Well, I think it's important for the fans just to realize that it's a process, and you guys have to trust the process, trust that, we're developing some of these young guys here, and that we have a plan going forward.
But what exactly is the process if you didn't really win last year? You had a little stretch towards the end, but you're 0-7, and you can make an argument your team's going backwards to the point where you give up play calling. So what's the process?
Well, listen, a lot of these decisions with this roster were beyond, our control. Some of the money that was spent with the previous regime that I didn't really have a say with, so there was a lot here that kind of needed to be redone and rebuilt. And we're still in the early phases of that.
I mean, you've been here year 2, and this whole offseason was you and Joe Douglas. So aren't these your players now?
Yeah, but again, you got to trust the process. Sometimes you need to bottom out before you can build it back up.
Okay, can you share some insight on how much power you have over personnel? Because some of these recent moves, the trade for the Miami running back didn't really make any sense. Kind of how things are being handled. Is that on you, or is that Joe Douglas giving you these players?
No, listen, me and Joe, we talk every day. We're a great team. We work well together. Any move involving any player that comes to this organization, we both have those discussions. But ultimately, I have the final say. Okay,
well, Coach Gase, I don't want to take up too much more time, so we'll do a couple more questions here. What would you define your relationship with Jets ownership?
No, we have a fantastic relationship. Ownership is fully supportive of everything that we're doing here. I talk with Christopher Johnson every day that I walk in the building. He loves the product that we have out there. He sees the work that we're putting in practice, and he realizes that good days are ahead. Good things are coming here.
Now, do you have any concerns that Joe Douglas could push you out because he still has 4 more years in his contract? You only have 2. Do you feel any pressure to try to make Joe Douglas happy, or do you feel content with your job right now?
Who hired Joe?
You did.
This guy. I'm not worried about Joe Douglas at all.
So you feel confident with your job. Like right now, I'm asking you, Coach Gase, on October 29th, you feel completely confident in your job.
Well, again, listen, it's tough to quantify that when you don't have your own quarterback. So again, listen, you come into an organization, you don't have, all the pieces that you really need to win. You don't have your own quarterback. It takes time to get those pieces and to build it that way. And we're still in the early phases of that.
Okay, so if I could just summarize some of the things you've told me tonight, this is an exclusive interview. I mean, to have Coach Adam Gase on Let's Talk Jets Radio is just mind blowing to me. Now, to summarize some of the things you've told me, you don't have your quarterback, you don't have your defensive coordinator, and you're just finally getting these rookies on the field. Is that kind of how you feel about why you're 0-7 right now?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. And you look at some of the things that we didn't do in the offseason, some of the players that we chose to get rid of for future assets, keeping $30 million in our pocket. Clearly, there was a plan that we were looking a little bit more towards the future than in 2020.
Now, another interesting, we have a lot of viewers here that are watching this, an exclusive interview with a coach, man. We got a lot of questions now. There is an interesting dilemma where it seems like injuries seem to follow you, where the injuries, a lot of them happened in Miami, and they also seem to follow you in New Jersey. And now with the Jets, last year your team was riddled with injuries. This year, a significant amount of injuries. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think guys just come in, so fired up for practice that, that tends to happen, when guys are ramping up the intensity and really getting after it, trying to improve every day, like we always are every day in practice. Sometimes there's going to be injuries. And I think that's the result of it. Guys coming in, working hard, and just trying to get better. We have one of the best cultures in sports, and I think that's a product of that.
So you have one of the best cultures in sports, but you're not winning those. So how do you really define your culture then?
Well, it takes time to build that groundwork. Again, you're not seeing everything that we see in practice every day. The work that these guys are putting in, it's going to start translating soon.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we actually have some questions from our viewers. Coach Gase, you have a couple more minutes, or
yeah,
I know you're very busy right now.
Bring them on.
Okay, so the first question we have for Coach Gase is, hey, Coach Gase, what is your favorite play to run?
Well, listen, if there's one play that you could always rely on, it's handing the ball off to Frank Gore on those early downs. The defense usually expecting that deep ball from Sam Darnold. We hit him with that run up the middle, catches him by surprise almost every time.
And it's interesting that, some of our viewers maybe and some of our hosts on the show are actually very worried about you always run the ball on first down. Is that just a matter of you want to be consistent for your team, or is there something innovative about that we're just not realizing?
Well, listen, it's ground and pound. It's time of possession. It's not allowing your young quarterback to fail by overexposing him, with an offensive line that's still kind of getting it together. Time of possession, baby.
And so the other thing that's been fascinating, and we appreciate your time, Coach Gase. This is so generous of you. Seems like on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, it's very difficult for you guys to get that yard. Can you explain why that is?
Sometimes it's just a breakdown here and there, a miscommunication. Something goes wrong. But again, we have to look at the film a little bit more.
But would you say is it the play call or is it the players?
It's definitely not the play calls. Almost every single time it's just a different player as far as execution goes. It's usually not everybody. It's it's one or two guys here or there, and there's just some kind of miscommunication, some kind of bust, and that ruins the play.
Yeah, and if we go back just for I guess a couple more questions here. If you go back to the game last week against the Bills, where with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first half, you guys had an opportunity to do a quick 2-minute drill, 3-minute drill to get points. It didn't really go as planned, and then Sam threw a really bad interception. Can you explain why there was kind of no diversity on play calling and why there's no hurry up, no sense of urgency on that?
Well, we still had all of our timeouts. We didn't really need to hurry it up. We didn't want to, give Buffalo the ball back in case we did get stopped. And like I said, we still had all 3 timeouts left. We were closing in on midfield, so we had plenty of time.
So you're completely comfortable with how that 2-minute drill ran?
Yeah, absolutely. Sam Darnold made a bad decision on that interception, and those things can't happen.
Fair enough. Coach Gase, this is your chance to address Jets fans here. This is you don't talk to the fans very often. You're usually getting harassed by the media. I guess we'll ask that question first. What's your thoughts of the New York media? A lot of them seem to be kind of supportive for the most part, only to the last couple of weeks. What are your thoughts on the Jets media?
Yeah, the media does a fantastic job in the city. Again, you should also see them at practice, the way they're on the sidelines, just taking notes and really getting after it. There is no media beat reporter group out there that compares to what the New York Jets offer.
And what are your thoughts? I know Trevor Lawrence unfortunately came down with COVID today, but what are your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence? There's a lot of hype around him, maybe you guys possibly tanking and coming to the Jets. First, I guess the first question is, are you tanking? And what are your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence?
No, listen, we don't tank here. We're professionals. We try to get after it every day. But, Trevor Lawrence, he's a phenomenal talent. If we're in that position at the end of the year, we'll address it then. But right now, we're focused on beating KC.
Now, there were some rumors that when you were with the Dolphins, you scouted Sam Darnold and you didn't have him ranked very high. You weren't very fond of Sam Darnold. Is that true?
Oh, no, not at all. I've always been a big fan of Sam Darnold, but unfortunately this year, things just haven't worked out. Whether it, just be the shoulder injury where, he kind of had to, sit for a couple weeks, didn't really get a chance to get into a rhythm early on. His receivers being out for a number of weeks, we're drawing up plays on the sidelines. Everything's kind of just been against this kid, so it just hasn't really worked out for him yet.
So you seem to have taken a change of stance here, Coach Gase, because early on in the season, you were kind of hard on your quarterback, saying he wasn't making the right reads, making the right throws. And now over the last 2 weeks, you seem like you're supporting your quarterback, which is fascinating. Why the change all of a sudden?
Well, you saw the offense with Joe Flacco. Clearly, it's not the quarterback.
Okay, so we got some more questions here for you, Coach. Do you still have a couple more minutes here or no?
Yeah, sure.
Coach, do you know you have to watch the tape to review the tape?
No, listen, there's a lot of plays in every game, and we try to watch it, and we try to watch every single player out there, and we try to diagnose what went wrong. Sometimes it's a little bit more complicated than a lot of media guys would probably understand, as far as what might go into a certain call and where the miscommunication happens. So I don't always feel like getting into all of that with you guys.
So what is your thoughts on the criticism when the media asks you very specific specific plays during the game, but you always say you have to watch the film? How do you make in-game adjustments if you can't see what's going on the field?
That's a good question. Another one I don't really have an answer for.
Okay, next we're going to go back to some more. We have reviewers here. We're dying to ask Coach Gay some questions. Hey, Coach, do you like playing hangman or tic-tac-toe on your play sheet during the game?
Listen, tic-tac-toe is a phenomenal game. Unfortunately, Dowell, he's usually busy calling plays, getting ready to throw the challenge flag. So you really need somebody else to be able to play with. I'm usually by myself, whether it's on the sideline or just sitting on the bench. So I don't know. I'd probably have to go with hangman.
Okay, I guess we'll try to do a couple more here. Let's see. This is interesting. We got Coach. You have a lot of fans on this channel, man. It's remarkable that you got a lot of support here. What would you say when you look at the Jets fans? You've had a rough start here. Would you say the fans are being fair, or they're just being a little bit unfair in terms of this is your process? It's a rebuild. We should kind of assume it's going to get worse before it gets better.
I think the fans have been a little bit unfair, but at the end of the day, it's New York. You understand that's kind of what comes with this territory. And like I said, they just need to trust the process and understand what we're building here.
Okay, so I guess as we wrap this up, you got 9 games left here. What would be a proper expectation? Would you expect, since you're going to be playing a lot of more younger guys, that losing is going to kind of come with it? Or do you expect to try to win some games?
No, we expect to win every game that we go out there. And like I said, if you watched us in practice, you would totally understand, why I had that expectation, because we know we could do it. We just need to do it for 60 minutes.
What are your thoughts on the comparisons to you? And, this is very unfortunate that you mentioned this name, but what are the comparisons to you and Rich Kotite, who did not have a very good, very good career with the Jets?
I don't even want to, get into those comparisons. I think the situations are completely different. We've been just, really, it's been really unfortunate what's happened with some of the injuries here, and we just really haven't had a chance to just get in that rhythm yet.
Will you have your defense kind of make sure they have a solid game plan for Le'Veon Bell so he doesn't show you up and kind of make, kind of shove it in your face that he's going to have success somewhere else?
We're not focused on Le'Veon Bell any more than we're focused on Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes and everybody else on that offense, because that's how you build an offense.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on Robbie Anderson having a tremendous amount of success since he's left the Jets?
No, listen, we're proud of Robbie Anderson. It's unfortunate that it didn't work out here. We still have high hopes for Rashad Perriman if and when he ever gets back on the field. But yeah, we're happy for Robbie Anderson right now.
So what about the notion that guys get much better once they leave your system? Is that like a legitimate gripe, or is it just lucky?
I think it's just luck. It's a coincidence. Guys getting healthy and having a different system, just luck.
So what about the argument that maybe you should adjust your system to make these players better? Like, instead of kind of forcing your system on them, maybe kind of change it to kind of make them better.
Did you see the way this system operated with Peyton Manning?
Yes.
Next question.
Fair enough. Okay. That's a very fair point. And there was word that Peyton Manning actually helped you get this job. Is that something that you're proud of, or do you think your resume and your interview did enough to get the job?
I think it's a combination of both. I think Christopher Johnson saw the innovative genius that, this offensive mind is right in front of you. And, Peyton Manning, he operated it, as good as anybody, all the way to a Super Bowl. So if he could do it, anybody could do it.
How did you come up with the tight end third down run? That was kind of that's very innovative. That caught everybody when you have 3rd and 1 and you go to a tight end that's never run the ball before. How did you come up with that?
Yeah, listen, we knew the opposing defense wasn't really going to expect it. It was something that, we worked in practice almost every single day this year. It always worked when we did it in practice. Our defense never expected it at all. It always worked out. We're surprised it didn't work out on game day.
Now, when you were hired, some of the biggest candidates to go against you, like Mike McCarthy, he's having an awful year in Dallas. Does that make you feel better?
No, not really, because, there's still some other candidates out there like Matt Rule and Kingsbury who are having plenty of success. And, you don't wish, any kind of failure on any coach in this league.
Okay, fair enough. I guess the last question would be for you, because I know you're a very busy coach. I mean, you probably got to watch more film. Apparently, you didn't finish watching Sunday's film, which is kind of remarkable at this point, Coach Case. But what would be your final season? No, not even that. What is your prediction for Sunday? Do you think most people are saying it's a 20-point spread? It should be more. Do you think it's going to be that game? It's going to be that close? Do you have confidence in your team to keep this game close and maybe even win it?
Yeah, listen, if you've seen us come out and practice this week, you would know that this is going to be a team that's fired up and got a chance to go out there against the Super Bowl champs. We've put in a really good week of practice. We've really been honing in on this game plan. We know we can't make any mistakes. I'm expecting a real competitive effort.
Okay, and the last question, I said that probably 3 times already, but what would be your final prediction for this team? Do you think this team now, most Jet fans want you to go 0-16. They want you to lose every game. But obviously you're a competitor. You don't want that. What would you say your team's final record is going to be this year?
Well, listen, Tyson, we're not going to measure this season as far as wins and losses go. We're going to measure it, in terms of progress, especially with a lot of these younger players, and even some of the older guys like Frank Gore, who we'd like to see back next year with the way he's playing right now.
You want Frank Gore back next year?
Listen, you don't see him on the practice field. You don't see him in the locker room. The way this guy can mentor, guys like P. Ryan, he's a big reason for P. Ryan's success. So absolutely, you need that mix of veterans and young players. And over these last 9 games, we're going to be in full evaluation mode.
Does that apply to your quarterback too, or do you kind of think you're going a different direction with your quarterback?
We'll get into that when the season's over, and we'll see where we stand.
Okay, and so your final record this season is going to be what, Coach Case?
Like I said, I'm not going to get into records. We're all about making progress, going out there every day in practice, working to get better.
Well, so how do you define progress when you just came off a half of football where you had 4 yards?
So 8 yards next week. That would be progress, right? Getting better week in and week out.
Coach Case, I got to give you credit, man. Fans give you a hard time where you don't usually ask questions specifically. You've answered every tough question. Like I gave you every hard ball that I have, and you've done a phenomenal job. I mean, I'm surprised coming from your opening press conference, which was kind of alarming, to this. You seem much more relaxed. You seem much more confident. I mean, this is impressive stuff right here, Coach.
As a head coach in New York City, you can't dodge the questions. You always got to be there to answer them, and I don't run from any of the questions. Unlike Joe Douglas, I'll answer the questions. Yeah.
Now, what is your thoughts on that, Coach? Because right now the Jets are kind of putting you in front of the fire here, like letting you face all the heat for this bad season. Are you surprised your general manager is not answering any questions?
Well, listen, we make all the decisions here, but I try to consult him. He doesn't really need to talk with the media. He talks with me. I talk with Christopher Johnson. We do this circle jerk all around, and everything's fine.
Now, there was a report from your friend, well, not your friend, one of the Jets beat writers, Brian Costello, that Joe Douglas and ownership maybe kind of told you had to get your play calling responsibilities to Darryl Loggins. Can you comment on that?
That was a decision that I made after, taking a couple weeks to evaluate things. And like I said, I wanted to oversee the whole product, be able to take a long look, a deep dive into the defense, into the offense, the way certain guys are looking on game day to try and help make those adjustments in game.
But why did you wait so long? Why did you wait till you're 0-6 to do this?
Good question. I don't know.
Okay. So then in terms of the reporting structure right now you and Joe Douglas are on the same page. Are you comfortable with that structure? Do you like the way everything's set up? Or if there was any kind of change, would you be okay with you reporting to a general manager and then the owner?
No. Why do that? I like things the way they are right now, where, I have a direct line to ownership and Chris Johnson, who clearly has a lot of trust in me. There's no reason to break up this structure. We're building a great culture here. Like I said, if you saw it in practice every day, you'd really understand.
Okay. Well, Coach, just before we let you go here, do you have a message for all the Jet fans out there? It's a very trying time. I mean, do you want to say happy Halloween? Like, what do you say to the fans out there? Happy Halloween. Stay positive and trust the process. Trust what we're building here. Coach Case, thank you so much for your time on a Thursday night. Hopefully you finish the game film by this weekend because you're playing on Sunday. It's very important, but thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Anytime, guys. Have a good night, Coach. Dude, yeah, I think you pretty much said everything he says.
I mean, he says the same thing every week, so it's hard not to have it memorized at this point.
So if we didn't lose subscribers now, I don't know what's going to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. What else can you do but laugh at this point, man? I mean, this is just... You try to have some fun with it. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll go a couple quick notes. This is great, Coach. Awesome analysis. And if you, to be completely honest with you guys, Kevin and I decided to do this about a minute ago. When he logged into our site here, he had the costume on. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? So I'm like, we got to do something with this here, and we kind of winged that last minute. So well done, prime time.
Yeah, that was my early Thursday Halloween costume at school today, so I figured I'd throw it on for a little bit. Represents Adam Gase perfectly.
Sure does, especially if you're here today. We'll do a couple comments on the Jets, and we'll go answer everybody's questions. Any questions you guys have, no matter what it is, we'll answer it. This is kind of like just a chill out while we're all bored on a Thursday night kind of deal. I guess the first thing is Dow Loggins is calling plays again. And when they asked him about it, it was like, dude, like you had 4 yards in the second half. I mean, yes, they did. I think it was like 49% more motion than usual, but like 4 yards. And they're kind of like, they want to keep doing it. But then Brian Costello said this thing in the fan, which is fascinating, that Joe Douglas and Jets ownership maybe kind of pushed him that way. They kind of told him he's got to do it.
Yeah, and that's where you kind of have a little bit of hope. If Joe Douglas and ownership, are starting to realize, hey, Adam Gase, like we need to get a better evaluation on you and what you're doing here, and maybe look at somebody else calling the plays and see what this offense can do. I think that's maybe a good sign that he is a little bit more on the hot seat than we think. But yeah, you still go back to the same question, which is what is Adam Gase's role at this point? Because if he's not calling the plays, like what the hell is he doing? So
it doesn't make any sense. Like if your coach is brought here for offense and play calling, and you're taking the play calling away from him, that tells you that he's not the right guy for the job. So it doesn't really make any sense.
That's the one reason, like the main reason that they sold us on this hire was that he was an innovative play caller and he would get the most out of Sam Darnold. And every week we're just watching him go backwards, we're watching the offense go backwards. They replaced almost every single guy on the offensive line. That hasn't made a difference.
Yeah, and the other thing was, and this is some of this stuff is just so predictable. Now that P. Ryan's is getting more playing time, Ashton Davis is gonna play, Cameron Clark's gonna play, Denzel Mims is back. Now they're like, Joe Douglas is so happy. Now he's a hero now. His guys are getting on the field.
Yep. No, I saw that too. And listen, aside from Becton and 4 catches from Mims, there's still not a whole lot to really go nuts about with this rookie class. Yes, Braden Mann had a few nice punts earlier in the year. Other than that, what have we really seen from Ashton Davis? Haven't seen anything from Zuniga yet. Bryce Hall hasn't seen the field yet. You still took a backup quarterback in the 4th round. Cameron Clark hasn't seen the field yet. So there's still a lot of questions to be answered with this draft class. I love Becton. I think Mims has a very nice ceiling, and I think P. Ryan could be a good complementary back. But as far as, this being a home run draft, I don't really know yet.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, I know they're trying to find positives and try to sell anything, some kind of, like, hey, we're getting these guys back. Owasu's coming back. Like, excuse me, there's pieces coming back, but it's like, it's so funny how they're trying to spin certain things. And it's so transparent, man. Like you can see right through it at this point. Yeah,
no, that's what they do. They don't hide it.
All right. So what we'll do is, like I said, this is just kind of like a hangout session here. So we're just going to answer whatever questions you guys have, man. Just kind of chilling out here. So we had an exclusive interview and now we got thanks. Thanks, coach, for blessing us with your offensive genius.
Only on Let's Talk Jets do you get the exclusives. So
I mean, this was definitely an exclusive, man. Absolutely. Then the question for the coach. Coach, do you like Trulies?
I do. I mean, that's what I've been drinking listen, I can't drink beer like every single night. Like the way I feel the next day, just all bloated and stuff like that. That's good for Sundays on game day when you're eating a lot and stuff like that. But for the work nights, Trulies work for me.
Do you think the Chiefs understand how to show mercy?
Not this week.
No. They will, dude. I think this. You know what's I think is going to happen? To be honest with you, like Sam Darnold, I'm predicting now. We'll do the prop bets tomorrow night. All you guys, tomorrow night's a preview show. We're not previewing shit. We're gonna do prop bets. We're gonna do all about betting. So I bet you Sam Darnold throws for 300 yards on Sunday, all in garbage time. Like the Jets are gonna get their doors blown off, and they're gonna get up so much gaudy numbers in garbage time. And garbage time probably starts in the second quarter when it's down like 28-3. But I think Andy Reid calls the dogs off. I really do.
See, but calling the dogs off would be probably handing the ball off to Le'Veon Bell a lot. And I think our defense is still probably going to be in prevent mode, worried about, Tyreek Hill and Kelsey and those guys. So there's going to be huge holes, I think, for Le'Veon Bell throughout this game, or, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, both those guys, they're going to be running all over us.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just, I think the Jets are going to put up some numbers on offense, and it's going to be all just garbage time stuff. And it's going to make it look so much different than it really should be.
Yep.
We got some comments here. Oops, hold on. Thank you, NY Jet Fan 1991. We appreciate it, man. Hope you got your shirt too. The shirts went out. Why does it matter who's calling plays with an Adam Gase broken system? To put a new driver behind the wheel of a trash car, it's still a trash car.
Great comment. Yeah, Yeah, and again, it didn't matter who was calling the plays. You literally saw the same script play out where the offense has a plan early on, and then the defense makes some adjustments, and then we don't have any answers. The exact same script it played out, even worse to an extent, with Dowell Loggins calling the plays with 4 yards in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, if you're to the point where your general manager's telling you to give up play calling, that speaks volumes in itself. And then the fact that the first thing that Dowell Loggins does is incorporate 10 times more motion than you were doing, getting the ball in the hands of the playmakers faster. Like there were some, if we're being fair, there were some pretty quick changes made. They didn't last all game because probably Gase probably got pissed off and said, "Listen, back off here, you're making me look bad." But I mean, the fact that they're telling him to do that, to give up his play calling responsibility, why not just fire him? Like why? Like he's not a head coach. He's not like a CEO of this team.
No.
He's not gonna. Do you think Adam Gase actually go to Greg Williams like, "Hey, bro, stop blitzing here. Go more in the zone"? Like he's not gonna tell Greg Williams shit. So if you're giving up your play calling, you don't manage defense. What are you managing? Special teams? Like you're not managing the clock right. You blew that last week too.
That's the one question that nobody, like not one Adam Gase defender can answer, which is like, what's the one thing that he does well?
Nothing.
There is literally not one area of coaching football that you could say, yeah, that's something that he does well. That's the foundation you could build off of with your head coach. Not one thing. Not a player's coach.
Player getting
not
better.
An offensive mind, not an offensive mind. Doesn't develop young players. Can't get along with star players. Not one thing that he does well. Not one. All of his guys get hurt. Can't make in-game adjustments. Everything.
But how are we doing in practice, prime time?
Practices have been great, though. I don't know why it doesn't translate.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
clown.
He's such a clown. What's the key to developing and coaching up players? I mean, we asked. I tried to ask Coach Gase, but he didn't really give me a direct answer there. Coach Gase kind of dodged that one.
He's good at that.
Yeah, that was just excellent, man. Oh my God,
my Gase. I listened to him too much.
It's a sad because I was thinking like, and the thing is, we did this so last minute. I was trying to think of questions on the fly. I'm trying to think all things I was so angry about over the last like 3 weeks.
That was a perfect interview.
Hey man, we got exclusive.
Yep.
It's not about the wins. You know what? And that's the mantra, dude. Now what they're going to say is they're playing some of the best teams in football, and now they're playing all the young guys. You can't expect us to win. They're finding new ways to justify losing. Let's be honest. And it's just ridiculous. It really is.
That message was clear to me before the season even started when they sat on $30 million. That was the message that you were sending because half your roster was injured. You knew you were going to have an issue at wide receiver because guys were hurt. Perriman was down. Mims was down. You weren't going to see them for a while. And you were okay just picking up guys like Chris Hogan and saying, we're good. You had $30 million. You could have traded some of your future draft picks if you were all about winning. You could have signed, guys like Sanu and other free agents that were available. You could have done a number of things to try to improve this team. You sat on the money. You didn't make any roster moves at all, and you were content going into this year with a roster that clearly was a bottom 5 roster at best. So this is what we have to show for it. It wasn't about wins. It was never about wins.
No, that's fair, man. I mean, there's so many questionable decisions made here. Let's see. We got a good question here. I just missed it though. Where the hell is it? I think it's up here somewhere. It's a good one. It's from VMan 29397. If you could add 4 Ring of Honor guys to this team, who would it be and why? He would add Eubank, obviously the coach, Don Maynard, Hill, and Gastineau.
Ooh. I think Gastineau would have to be in there for that, just for the dominant pass rush. Revis, shutdown corner. I'd say probably give me Keyshawn as your number 1 wideout. Maybe Al Toon in his prime. And then who's your quarterback? I think is the big question. Chad Pennington for the few years that he was healthy, maybe. I mean, Joe Namath would probably be the guy. But, if you're looking at least for, more recent guys, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at Ring of Honor guys, obviously you would go, Ring of Honor. I mean, that's a really good question. Yeah. I mean, you'd like to go, you go Kevin Wyatt center. I mean, you can give him a center. You can go Revis. You could go Joe Klecko. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff, man. I mean, I guess you could say I'd probably go Keyshawn as well. Yeah. I mean, but then you can go like a Wesley Walker and just go like offense. You get center, 2 great receivers, Klecko and Revis, that kind of deal. And then say, hey, Sam, you can't really fuck this up,
That's true.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Let's see here. We got hypothetically, if you had to, which previously fired Jets coach would you pick to be the new Jets coach? So they had to be fired. Rex?
Yeah. I mean, that's the one guy I think that instantly would allow you to evaluate these players a little bit more because you'd be getting 100% effort out of them. And like at least as a fan, he was the one guy that you could always relate to. He always related to the fans. He always spoke to the fans. And I think that was just something you always appreciated. The X's and O's weren't always there. The team building and the drafting aspect, him and Tannenbaum wasn't always there. But when he had the talent, early on those first 2 years, he did some really good things with it.
I'd go Mangini. I would take Eric Mangini because right now this team, Rex is good after a team that's been through a lot of discipline. To have a team that doesn't have a lot of discipline to go to Rex would probably be a little worse. Mangini would tighten the ship up, cut all the bullshit out, weed out all the idiots. Like he had, especially now where I think he's probably learned some lessons from his first time in Cleveland. I think Mangini would probably be better. He'd be the right guy this time. Just tighten things up around here.
If you're talking about building up a program, I would agree. If you're talking about coaching a team that already has the talent, I would take Rex and his ability.
Well, right now this team's got no talent. I take Mangini with his drafting and his way he can coach.
That's fair.
Good. That's a great question. That's a really good question. Do you think the reason that beat reporters are not pressing Gase is because they're scared shitless of having their credentials removed like Manish if they don't buy the Jets' narratives? Yeah, Primetime, your thoughts?
I clearly think that there's certain guys in the beat that we've touched on that clearly support, whatever the Jets PR tells them to for, whatever scoops that they're able to get, 10 minutes before everybody else. And I think that they're, more scared of kind of losing that access, than they are scared of being stripped of their credentials entirely.
Yeah, I think it's kind of convenient when they all pile on the Jets at the same time. They don't go on their own to be kind of really blasting people. After week 1, it's so funny. Like, you guys got to be patient. You got to calm down. Week 2, you got to be patient. You got to calm down. Week 4, calm down. Week 6, okay, now we agree. But they all say, okay, now he should be fired. Yep. It's kind of like they all bought their time together. It's just.
Yeah, and you brought up the good point, a few weeks ago about Le'Veon Bell, how that, one day in practice, all of a sudden, after they were spending weeks praising him and, his conditioning and how he looked great, all of a sudden, the same day, Connor Hughes, Brian Costello, Le'Veon Bell lost a step.
All the
same day, time. Within 10 minutes. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's kind of predictable. Yep. This is it. Where in the hell is Joe Douglas during all of this? The rumor has it. There's a rumor, Primetime, that we may have Joe Douglas on the show pretty soon. We had an exclusive tonight with Adam Gase. You never know who can come on the show next. We may have Joe Douglas on next. So stay tuned for that. But right now he's hiding in his office, and he better come out during the bye week and impress some people.
I have no answer for why he hasn't taken questions to this point. Whatever he's going to say at the bye, I feel like is irrelevant. He should have been out in front of this. This is mostly his, or half of it at least, is his team. He's backed this coach. We have all the quotes that he, said this offseason about, 6-2 being a fluke, creating a good culture here, and he hasn't really done any of it yet. And just to wait until the bye week when you're 0-8 at that point, it's like, what are you even talking about?
Can you answer my question? Well, Caleb, send it again. We'll answer it because I guess I probably missed it. Jets fans are dumb. Listen, Funsley, with the name of Funsley, how could you get mad at us for having fun? Right now we're 0-7. We're the worst team of football, and you got to find ways to have fun. So our preview show is all about betting. Our live stream is about drinking. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you're looking for seriousness.
I was going to say, who's tuning in on a Thursday night to listen to X's and O's about Jets and Chiefs?
Really? Yeah. Let's see. Gase looked like he was lost on the sideline, looked like he was pouting about not calling plays, had no interest, should have been involved in all aspects of the team, but stayed by himself.
But that's not anything different, though.
That just shows you it wasn't his choice to do this. It was showed that Joe Douglas ownership said, listen, man, you got to concede something and act like you're making a difference here.
Yeah, no, and like I said, I think that's a positive if, there is some kind of say that Joe Douglas has over Adam Gase, and that's why I want him to kind of go the extra mile and do what Adam Gase did to Mike McCagnon, which is get an ownership's ear and really, kind of distance himself from Adam Gase and say, you know what, we need a different guy to come in here that's actually going to get more out of these players and have a system that works to the players and not forcing players to his system and things like that. So clearly Adam Gase isn't the answer. I just hope that Joe Douglas at this point can see that.
Well done, guys. Yeah, man. Listen, it's not every day you get a head coach on your live stream, man. We feel blessed. We feel honored. For Coach Gase to give us 20 minutes is just purely just a blessing.
Yeah, especially on a game week too.
Yeah, he's still watching film too from Sunday, which is it must be a lot of film he's watching. Zuniga came off this week, and I think go ahead.
I was just gonna say, hasn't he been active the last 2 weeks and just not played?
I thought he was active last week.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I thought he was active the week before too. I could be wrong. But.
See, now the one thing is. The Jets are making a lot of headlines, not headlines, because nobody really gives a shit about them at this point, but they're making a lot of news saying, like, listen, we're happy our all young guys are back. Okay, then play them.
Yeah.
Like once Bryce Hall is in, throw him out there. Like once these guys already, like let them play, dude. I'd rather, like I said, if we're gonna lose 45-3 on Sunday, I'd rather lose by all these guys learning and playing hard and trying to figure things out than watching all these guys we know are gonna be gone, like the Henry Andersons, all the other guys. Like let the young guys just learn and get toasted. I don't care. At least be fun to watch.
Yeah, we should be in full evaluation mode at this point. You know, there is no need to see any of Frank Gore. Pick up an undrafted free agent, you know, Ty Johnson, whoever, you know, give those opportunities to guys that might have a chance to be a part of the team next year, even if it's, you know, in a depth role. You know, some of these young corners that we have, Javelin Guidry, Lamar Jackson, let's keep getting them some work. You know, even if they're not number 1, number 2 corners, if they could be your 4th or 5th option, you know, you feel confident in them replacing a starter, you know, who gets hurt. That's good. I identify what you have and what you don't have.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Bradley McDougall isn't playing on Sunday, or as of right now, he's out. I'm glad. I mean, that's like addition by subtraction. He's been terrible.
Yeah, let's see more of Ashton Davis. Why not?
Let's see some of them. Do you think Woody's coming back to fire Gase before next season? Doesn't seem like Chris is capable of pulling the trigger. There's a lot to that. There's been a lot more rumblings about that later, especially like lately, especially.
I mean, we all hope so. I don't expect it. I mean, I wish I did. I think a lot of it probably comes down to what Joe Douglas really wants. I mean, that's who they should be listening to. The football guy of this organization. You know, we've always wanted the right structure where the head coach reports to the GM, who reports to the owner. You know, kind of having that role, a head coach and GM that work together. And unfortunately, if it's Joe Douglas supporting Adam Gase, that's not really the relationship that you want. You know, you'd like to see Joe Douglas kind of take a stand and bring in his own guys, somebody that's actually going to, you know, do what we've been talking about, an offensive mind, a true leader that's innovative to today's standards. We don't have that right now.
Dowell needs to step up this week to prove Gase is useless. I mean, I can just imagine if this offense like puts up like 28, 30 points this week. And how does Gase even answer questions like that? He'd probably be just like, he'd be mortified.
He'll still take credit though. It was the game plan. It was, you know, everything we did in practice. You know, he was talking to Dowell in the headset. He'll still find a way to take credit for it.
James Morgan makes sense in the long term. I wasn't too happy at first, but makes sense. I think JD has a vision from the start. But what the hell's the long term
for James Morgan though?
I don't agree with that at all.
When you have a young quarterback, you know, we have our backup veteran in Flacco. We have our other guy in Mike White. That's what you should have behind your young quarterback. One veteran and another guy that, you know, you're trying to develop. To waste a 4th round pick when you have so many other needs right now, that just never made any sense. If Joe Flacco was going to be your true backup and you were going to keep Mike White on the roster or some of these other guys, Fales, who was here for a little bit, why waste a 4th round pick? We clearly have a major need at wide receiver, edge rusher, corner. Why not take a flyer on somebody there instead of going for a guy that's not even going to see the field for at least a year or two, if not ever in a Jet uniform?
I mean, keeping Fales was a joke. I mean, they cut him. Nobody's going to pick him up. He's worthless. I mean, it's just their handling of quarterbacks that will never make sense to me ever.
Yep.
Coach, where are the shades? That's what they want to know.
They're inside. Couldn't fit him over the donkey mess. That's why.
The question is, you were asking, why don't the media ask him that, put pressure on him? Yeah, I mean, they don't ask these kind of questions.
They'll ask one or two, but like one of the callers said on Tuesday night, they don't ask like the follow-up questions to it. They don't actually, you know, get after Gase when he doesn't answer the question or he dances around it. That's what they don't do.
Yep. Did you hear the NFL is trying to take down the Jets website? Yeah, they finally realized that no one in the Jets organization, including the webmaster, can string 3 W's together. Thanks for the shirt. Glad you got it, man.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I look forward to the jokes. I think the most out of all these.
Yep.
Is Bryce Hall playing this week? I hope so. He's due to come back this week, right?
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought it was another week.
I thought it was week 8. He's eligible to come back.
I haven't heard anything about him this week, though.
Gase seems like a nice dude in person, but he's such a bad coach and leader. I mean,
I was gonna say honestly, and this is just, you know, from some things I've heard as well as some people I've talked. Like he's not a nice person. Like people don't like him. He's a legitimate, arrogant.
He's a prick.
He's a prick. Like nobody likes him at all. And that's the kind of guy he is. That's
he's not a people person at all.
No, not at all.
I've heard the same things.
Yep.
We got some credit. A great exclusive interview with an exclusive ass coach. I mean, this is what we do. Let's Talk Jets. I mean, you guys have been saying we should work harder at this, and we've got the head coach. And like I said, stay tuned. We may get Joe Douglas. You never know what can happen on this show now.
That'll be an interview. Stay tuned for that
one. Is Cameron Clark starting this week? He should. Why not?
His first game. I don't know. Is Alex Lewis definitely out?
He didn't practice.
Yeah, I haven't seen the injury report yet.
Can't get any worse than last week. Josh Andrews was horrendous, man. I mean, I had 15 Trulies. I knew he sucked. It was horrendous. Let's see. Josh McCown got a win against the Chiefs. Oh, my goodness. I mean, this game on Sunday, like I said, I mean, go ahead, prime time.
I was going to say, I was mad that we got rid of McCown. I thought he was the perfect guy to keep here as, the mentor to Sam, eventually maybe take over as your quarterback coach / offensive coordinator. But it's a shame.
This is a good question here. Any trades that might surprise us on the Jets? What's going to be in the Jets' favor of doing a fire sale is you're getting your doors blown off on Sunday. When you lose 45-10 on Sunday, everybody's going to be like, oh, this team is terrible. Then you can trade away your Avery Williamsons and your Brian Pooles and your Jordan Jenkins. And you can justify it. But listen, we're 0-8. We're going nowhere. The season's over. That's kind of like your final, right? Isn't it usually your 8th loss when you're like legitimately usually out of it for most teams? Yeah. That's like, okay, you can stop saying it playoffs and you can say your season's over.
Yeah, but at this point, I don't think there's any trades that would actually surprise us, minus maybe trading Quinn and Williams. I mean, what would really surprise you? Avery Williamson, Brian Poole, Marcus May, Jordan Jenkins, like none of these guys would surprise me. Nope. Mid-round pick for any of them. Again, none of these guys were originally brought in by this regime. So it wouldn't surprise me at all.
What would be considered a good trade for Darnold? Well, first of all, I'll say I don't think he's getting traded at the deadline. I think that'd be ridiculously foolish. Yeah. But then when you go towards the end of the season, then it matters. Do you have the number 1 pick? If you don't have the number 1 pick, I mean, that's a game changer in itself. Yeah. But assuming they have the number 1 pick, I mean, you want to get some kind of haul, man. But I mean, I don't know.
I would like to get a first-round pick back, but, just listening to what most of the analysts are saying, it doesn't seem like they're expecting to be able to get a first, second at best. And that's probably to a team that, is a good team that's ready to win, that thinks they could plug him in and, kind of rebuild him. So I don't know. I think you're probably looking at a second-round pick at best at this point.
Yeah, I read the same thing. I was trying to dig around a little bit, and people are saying that because they're like, listen, if you have a first-round pick, you can go draft, do any of these top 3 quarterbacks in the draft. You may say, you know what, I'll draft one of these guys instead of dealing with Sam in year 4 of his contract. It's like the whole financial thing. Yeah, what?
We're starting that conversation now?
No, I'm saying what the analysts are saying in terms of draft compensation. Like if the Jets say, listen, we want 2 first-round picks, and your pick is in the top 15, like, you know what, I'm not going to give you 2 first-round picks. I'll keep my pick and just draft a kid and take that chance instead of taking on, Joe Douglas is in a tough spot, man, in terms of trying to get compensation where the fans don't riot.
I thought you were trying to justify taking Justin Fields or
no. I'm saying if you have the number 1 pick, you have the number 1 pick, and everybody knows you're taking Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, who I think if he comes out will go to the Jets. All this shit going on now is just ridiculous. People are just chasing clickbait at this point.
If Gase is coaching though,
I think. I'm assuming Gase is gone, but I think if Gase is gone, number 1 pick, Trevor Lawrence will be happy to come to the Jets and have fun in New York. But then if the whole NFL knows that and they know you want to get rid of Sam, do you lose some leverage then? They say, listen, you know what? You want 2 first-round picks? You keep the kid. Have fun with that.
I don't think they have any leverage to begin with, and you can't make the move now without knowing where you're drafting. I know some people think getting rid of Sam now kind of helps the tank, puts you in better position to get that number 1 overall pick. But still, I don't think you could take that chance unless you feel just as confident in a guy like Justin Fields as you do Trevor Lawrence, which, I personally wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think you could take that chance getting rid of Sam without knowing that you have the number 1 pick first.
This is a great question. Do you think the Jets suck because the GM didn't hire the coach who didn't draft the quarterback? It's not whose fault is it that we suck? Is it Gase alone? Yeah, this has been the problem with the Jets for years. You always have it's like they're always ass backwards. You fire the GM, you hire the coach, you hire the GM. That right there just shows you how bad they are. And the ownership pushed it. And the ownership not knowing what to do has them where they are now. The worst thing you want to do is you fire Gase, you have Douglas hire a coach he doesn't like. Then you fire Douglas next year, and then you have the whole problem again. They've got to be the next coach you hire, which should be at the end of this year, should be best friends with Joe Douglas for the next 4 years. They're tied at the hip now. Their success is tied together. When one goes, they both go. Right?
Completely agree. That for once, let's get the structure and the hierarchy right. Right? Don't allow ownership to bring in their guy if he's not a Joe Douglas guy, unless you're talking about, like we've talked about, Jim Harbaugh or somebody like that who's going to oversee your entire program. Allow Joe Douglas to bring in his guy. Those guys, they work together. If it works, great. If not, you fire them both. Then you hire a reputable GM. He hires the head coach. Get the reporting structure right.
Yeah, if you're willing to give Joe Douglas a 6-year contract, you give him the power to hire this coach. And this got to be a coach. It can't be like the Jets ownership, which they've done in the past. They can't get enamored with somebody. They got to say, okay, Joe, you and your team go interview all the guys. You bring us your final candidate. We'll just make sure he's good, and you hire him. and that's it. And then they're tied at the hip. Like this is his guy. No more excuses. No more finger pointing. This is it. You're all going down together, or you're all going to win together. That's it. I mean,
and that's also why I don't think if he's willing to go down with another or third year of Adam Gase, that should be his guy.
Yep, that's it. He's doubling down and say, "Listen,
exactly.
I watched enough this year. I want to bring him back."
If at the end of the year you're saying I want to bring back Adam Gase, okay, that's now your head coach. And at the end of the third year, if it doesn't work out, you're both fired. Yep, we bring in a new GM, hire a new coach that's going to work with Trevor Lawrence and build him up, and hopefully not destroy him. And you go from there. Yeah,
this is V-Man's question from before, in case you guys didn't see it, about if you could add 4 Ring of Honor guys to this team, who would it be? It's a great question, man, because you could find 4 legitimate guys that you could say, listen, what are our biggest holes, and address all of them. You could say center, you could say 2 receivers, you can go pass rusher. You get all kinds of things. That's a great question.
Yep.
The first thing Gase does well is deflect responsibility for his offensive failures. Well, that's true. And now what they're trying to do is it's always something else. If you ever look at it, it was always, we needed speed. Perriman came back. We finally got the speed we needed back. So Perriman comes back, nothing changes. Oh, now we got Mims back. Mims is our guy. We finally got him back. Now it's like, oh, wait, now we have Zuniga and Cameron Clark back. It's always somebody else to justify, it's never like we're fucking things up. It's always like, oh, we needed this guy now. Now we need this guy.
It's always somebody else. It's always the execution. It's never what he's doing. It's never the play calling. It's never his responsibility. I mean, I get tired of talking about that shit.
This is a great question, Marcus, because the benefit that we have is that we did radio shows all throughout this time period. We did free agent show after free agent show. And how many people, primetime, told us Robbie Anderson's overrated? He's not a number one. He's not a game-breaking receiver. He's not a good receiver. He's a complimentary guy. He's not worth the money. How many? We got calls every Tuesday, every Friday, all the time, constantly talking about Robbie Anderson. That Perriman is if good, is the same as good, if not better. Yep.
What's crazy is that I'll even own this. I didn't even think Robbie Anderson was a number 1, but I thought he was a very, very good number 2 who, again, with the right coach, right quarterback, would put up solid numbers. And we're seeing it with Carolina. I mean, he's been one of the top 5 wide receivers in terms of yards, receptions all year, and he's playing like a true number 1 now. So, I mean, that's what he's able to do away from Adam Gase. And when you have that theme constantly come up, with ex-Dolphin players and now a long list that's starting to grow of ex-Jet players that go to a different team and are playing better. I mean, connect the dots. What's the common factor? It's you, it's your system, it's what you're not doing well.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only thing that I was trying to sell last year. And if you go back to our shows, I kept saying it was like, in my opinion, Robbie Anderson was one of the few guys that got better under Adam Gase because Adam Gase opened his route tree a little bit more. He was doing a little bit more in the offense. He was showing some things. But then what I didn't like about him was he would get mad at the end of games. He'd quit. He became like he wasn't handling some things mature enough.
Well, but think about it. If you have this potential, like we're seeing now, where he's playing like a number 1 wideout, if he knows he could be featured and produce like a number 1 wideout, and every week, like last year, I mean, there was at least 3 to 4 weeks down the stretch of those last 9 games where he was invisible. Yep. They didn't feature him at all. Yep. Of course, you're going to get pissed off. Wide receivers are, typically the biggest divas in football. And, Robbie Anderson, he's a talented kid who's never really had a chance to get featured to that extent. And last year, like you said, his route tree started to expand, yet the numbers still weren't really there for what he's capable of.
And it seems like he has some kind of like a little bit of a leadership role in Carolina too, where the guys are like rallying around him and everything else. It's fascinating, man. If we paid again.
No, I was going to say, and that's what sucks also. Like when he had the way he started here, some run-ins with the law and everything, and then he starts to get it together. Like that's the kid that you want to resign and bring back as he's starting to kind of turn that corner and grow and mature a little bit. Yet he's doing that now under, his college coach.
He was growing with Sam and they could have grown together. But if we paid Robbie Anderson and Jamal Adams, the Jets would be a completely different team right now. I mean, maybe because Adam Gase is still the coach. I think the defense would probably be better. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. I mean, that's tough to say. I mean, I think the offense would be better. I mean, I don't know. I think they'd be better. But my problem is Gase used Robbie okay. But maybe if you have Robbie and Mims and Crowder, maybe it's a lot more explosive that way. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and this was my point. Like, as we were going into the offseason, and people were saying like we were definitely 3 to 4 years away. I didn't think we were that far if we made the right moves. We put tons of money into this offensive line. Becton worked out, yet all the free agents we signed pretty much haven't worked out. Fant's been okay, but not for the money that he's making. And you would think Le'Veon Bell could still produce like a number one back in most offenses. Of course, not in Adam Gase's offense, but Le'Veon Bell is still an incredibly talented back. And if you're talking about Robbie Anderson plus Mims and Crowder as your top three wideouts, you're in a pretty good position to, have some nice playmakers there with some versatility that could stretch the field with some speed. And, I think you're talking about the offense completely differently. You're not making excuses for Sam or Gase or anybody for why the offense isn't producing, because you have enough.
Yep. That was really great being last minute. I could have sworn you had all those questions pre-planned. Romeo, I can tell you right now, when Primetime logged in tonight, he always waits till the last minute. It makes me sweat. He logs in the last minute, and all I see is this donkey head, and I'm like, what is this? Like, oh, happy Halloween. I'm like, well, what are we going to do with this now? So you had me thinking, I'm like, oh, I'll call you Coach Gase. We'll just fly with it. Complete impromptu, man. That was not planned at all. We winged the whole thing. So if I had more time, I'd probably ask better questions. I was trying to think while he was talking.
Questions were perfect.
I tried, man. Joel Klatt on the Coward Show said he's certain the Jets can get a first for Darnold. Then do it. If that's what you can do, then go for it. That'd be awesome. Probably a late first round. I don't know.
Are we talking about that now, or are we talking about that at the end of the year? Like, if you could get a first rounder right now, would you do it?
No. Maybe the only reason why, because my concern is some of these other teams around the Jets are also tanking. I mean, Minshew's hurt with the Jaguars. I can't see the score of the Falcons game right now. There's a lot of bad teams out there right now.
Falcons are up 16-14 at the half.
Okay, well, keep them winning then. But right now, the Jets aren't a lock to have number one pick. Like I kind of want that certainty, because the last thing you want is, you trade away Darnold and some way Joe Flacco finds ways to win games and stuff like that. You win 3 games, you're sitting at the number 5 pick, and then what?
Exactly.
I kind of wait. Joe D drafted Becton, Mims, Davis, Pirine. Not that bad. I mean, we don't know what any of them are. Becton's been the only guy that's proven. Davis hasn't played. Pirine had a decent game. I mean, Mims has got 4 catches. We got to wait, man.
I'm not trying to hate on Pirine. I think he's looked decent in the carries that he's had, but I mean, I've seen some people calling him like a star running back, like a phenomenal pick. I'm like, we've seen him carry the ball about 15 times. He had the one nice run that was about 20 yards. He had the one touchdown run where he was okay. He had the drop also. I mean, it's been nothing like off the charts, I feel like. I mean, he's not looking like an Alvin Kamara or anybody, out there. So, a lot to be determined with him. And the same thing goes with Ashton Davis. In the limited time he's been out there on defense, you really haven't seen all that much. No,
I mean, it's going to take a little time. I think, if anything, if you're giving this rookie class a pass because they've all been hurt, then it's like, okay, Joe Douglas, what'd you do in free agency? And he failed. Period. I mean, you cannot look at his free agent class and say he did well. He did it horribly. I mean, it's simple. Look at all the moves he made.
But he also gave himself an out, though, with the low risk, high reward, can get out of the deals after 1 year, can call it, a tank or evaluation to set up for, Trevor Lawrence and the new coach, whatever. Like, he has every corner covered as far as how he can explain why this year went wrong.
Well, I mean, if his primary responsibility going to this, and this selling point going in the training camp was, I upgraded the offensive line. The offensive line was my priority. Okay, we got Becton, and the rest of the guys are what? Like, I don't feel confident really pretty much any of them. Like, McGovern is okay. I don't understand how PFF gives all these rankings. Like, oh, this guy's 10 in the NFL and 14 in the NFL. I'm like, dude, do you want? I was like, if that's the case, if all these guys are ranked so high, they're being completely poorly coached. Then the scheme's not working for them because these guys are getting manhandled. There's a reason why we can't run the ball consistently. We can't protect the quarterback. They're not playing well.
Yeah, in theory, if your offensive line was playing well, you wouldn't be last in almost every single category on offense. You'd find a way.
Sam would be running for his life.
Exactly.
If the Jets have number 1 overall, would you trade to the Patriots for Belichick and their first rounder? Say it's 11. So basically, you're dropping 10 spots.
So I'll answer this one because I've been the one that's actually advocated for potentially trading the pick, and even I wouldn't consider trading it to the Patriots, especially if they're picking at 11th. The one way that I would trade the pick is if you still see enough in Sam Darnold to say, you know what, this kid could still be a franchise quarterback. He's still very talented, just needs the right system, right? And then if you're talking about a team like Jacksonville or Atlanta picking 3rd or 4th overall, and you're only dropping a couple spots and adding an extra 2 or 3 first rounders plus a couple seconds and thirds, like a massive haul, then I think it's worth considering depending on.
This question is not about players. It's about, would you trade the pick for a coach?
For Belichick?
for
Wait.
Belichick, for a coach.
Oh, I misread that. I thought it was for the Patriots first rounder just to go to 11.
No,
Belichick's
for
not getting traded. He's not. No, Belichick's not getting
Well,
traded.
see, here's where it gets interesting because
And he would never coach the Jets. Period.
yeah, Belichick will never come here. He hates his team.
Ever,
He hates organization. If you
ever.
watch the Parcells and Belichick thing, he hates the Jets. But
Ever.
the reason why this is coming up is because when the Jets had to get Parcells, they had to make a trade to get him from New England.
Yeah.
So now there's rumblings where people say, hey, you know what? Why not trade for a Sean Payton? Or why not make a splash for one of these prominent head coaches that win, spend the money, spend the draft resources, and get that quality coach in here?
Number 1 overall, though?
I mean, we have but we have another first round pick. We have the Jamal Adams pick. I'd keep number 1. I'm not giving away number 1. I'm getting the quarterback.
I was gonna say number 1 overall. You don't touch that unless you know.
But if you had that second first round pick and you can get who would be a coach that you would say, you know what? Like if it's like John Harbaugh, I would do it. Like Andy Reid, obviously. I mean, I do Sean Payton. I like Sean Payton. Like some of these guys, man, to have that kind of prominent guy, I would do it. Did I lose you? Uh-oh. Did I lose prime time? Could be because of the storm. Jets suck. Okay. Appreciate it. Let's see what we got here. I guess we lost him, so I guess I could do a couple more if you can see if he comes back on. This dude we got here. I understand Gase is coming to the Halloween party disguises himself at his original press conference. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. So let's see if we got, see if Primetime comes back in. See how we got to do this here. Add him back on, see if he comes back on. I guess we lost him. Now he's texting me. So hang on 1 second, people. I guess he's logging back on. Oh, he's coming back on. So hang on 1 second, people. He's coming back on. I knew you guys are missing him. Sam's problem is he doesn't have a pair of balls like a Mayfield. He refuses to say F you to Gase and Ball, do his own thing. At this point, he does nothing. He has nothing to lose, but he's too much of an aw shucks kid. Well, actually, he did that last year, Lauren. Remember, he on the sideline, he did do that. He did go back at Gase a little bit. So that's not really his problem. I think he's just too much of a team guy. I think he's just in over his head and he's losing confidence. So let's bring back Mr. Primetime. What's up, man?
What's up? I'm on my phone now. My internet went out. I don't even need the headset on.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, the storms are bad out here right now.
Yeah, we had them before, man. It was kind of rough.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Do a couple more then. Thank you guys for all joining us, man. We were just kind of winging this one, just kind of doing whatever.
Surprised we didn't get any non-Jets questions yet.
I've been a Jets fan a long time, 70s, and never seen a coach this bad. I mean, this is as bad as it gets. This is pretty bad.
I've never seen it this bad. I mean, I was a little bit younger during the Kotite days, and even that, I mean, I don't think
this is just horrendous. I just had this unrelenting bad feeling that Lawrence is going back to school and we're going to be in the worst possible position.
Well, I don't think he would risk, starting to potentially get his NFL contract, a year earlier, by coming out. I don't think he would risk that going to school, getting hurt. But yeah, I think a lot of it still depends on who's the coach of the Jets. I think that's actually going to factor in his decision. If Adam Gase is still the coach, I think he would try like hell to make sure Adam Gase is gone before committing to the Jets. And then you see what happens from there. But as far as, just not coming out and going back to college, I don't think that'll happen. But, maybe forcing his way to a certain destination, I wouldn't put that past him at all.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. You ought to trade Gord just so he can retire with dignity. I mean, he's going to get plenty of dignity here, but he's going to get 15 carries a game. He's going to get they're probably trying to give him 1,000 yards now on this team.
Probably right.
Let's see. Crowder cannot stay healthy, so frustrating. I mean, he played most last year. He's back this week, I guess, right?
I haven't seen anything on the injury report with him, so yeah, I mean, he was doubtful last week, so you would think he'd be able to come back this week. And when he's been out there, he's been our best receiver. So
yeah, he had 300-yard games already this season. I mean,
yep.
Crowder isn't the problem at this point. All right, we got a bunch on here. I got to figure these out. So many comments, man. Holy Christ. Yeah, primetime is buffering. Sorry, guys. We got storms here in New Jersey. I'm not sure where you guys are watching from. Let's see. Adam Gase for Coach of the Year. Yeah, for ruining an organization. Let's see. Sam is a type of QB good franchises never draft high enough to get. Plus, he's still young. We will get a late first round for Sam easily.
Hope so.
I mean, that'd be nice. I'd be happy about that.
I think personally, I mean, in terms of his talent, is he worth a first rounder? Yes, but teams also recognize, like we talked about, that, you know, if the Jets are picking first overall, they don't really have any leverage in terms of, you know, making a trade. Teams know they got to get rid of him. And, you know, you'd be buying low at this point because he really hasn't done enough, you know, through his first 3 years to solidify himself as that franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be fascinating to see how they handle this. Even the trade deadline next week's going to be interesting, man, to see what they do. There's a lot of questions they have to answer as a team. And then I just can't wait to see what Joe Douglas does, to be honest with you. Primetime went trick-or-treating. No, he came back. Let's see what we got here. So many comments. Jeez, I can't keep up with all these things. Here's one for you, Primetime. Sam is not a franchise quarterback.
Listen, I respect anybody who thinks he's not based on the film, and I get it. But how do you watch the film and not take into account everything that has gone against this kid? And that's what I don't understand. Like, literally, there is no quarterback that's been put in any type of situation close to what Sam's been put in over the last, decade? I mean, in terms of playmakers, terms of coaching, offensive line, all of it, bottom of the league, if not the worst. By far the worst coaching situation. You know, Bowles to Bates and, you know, logins to Adam Gase. You don't get any worse than that. You look at the receivers he's had this year for a number of games. You know, he's had 2 healthy wideouts for, I think, 2 of them. So, I mean, listen, the kid's been up against it. And I think to not assume that that's going to factor into how your quarterback is going to play, it's just naive. So again, he's made some bad decisions. You know, he's absolutely, you know, made some rookie mistakes. It's not to say he hasn't, but, you know, Russell Wilson the other night, he threw 3 terrible interceptions, but his offense is also built around him where he could air it out. And, you know, Carroll has plenty of faith in him to execute the offense, an up-tempo offense that takes deep chances and sets his quarterback ultimately up for success. And Sam doesn't have those types of plays to make up for the few mistakes that he does make.
There's a comment here. Kevin, stand-up comedies in your future.
I don't think so. Definitely not my future.
You sure, man? That was pretty impressive stuff right there.
It was you with the question, man. The question set me up.
Colts, Steelers, Jags, Bears, Cowboys, Saints, Redskins would be interested in Darnold. What about the Vikings? If I'm the Vikings, I would show some interest too.
Yeah. I think the Steelers make a lot of sense. Definitely the Colts too with their offensive line. I think those are perfect situations for them. And how about the Colts? How would they make out on that trade?
Yeah. No kidding, man. They fleece us for the pick, and then they get Sam Darnold anyway. Could you imagine?
Yep.
Let's see. Kevin, I think you need to give P. Ryan more time. Our offensive line is awful. I mean, to be honest, I kind of feel the same way too. I don't watch the tape and I don't watch the film because I'm just way too lazy. I'm not that kind of fan. But I watch all these other running backs throughout the NFL. They look so explosive. They had that burst,
that extra gear. Yep.
Right. And he doesn't seem to have that. He turns it and he's shifty. But the thing is, you look at him and you're comparing him to who? Frank Gore? Who's the other explosive guy? The only guy that looked explosive was Ty Johnson. I almost knocked my light over. And he doesn't even play. He looks like he's a good back, but he's not that game breaking guy. That's just my from what I saw. I mean, I was drinking a lot.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a limited sample behind an offensive line that's not too great, so I totally get it. But yeah, in the few opportunities that he has touched the ball where he's had some space to run, he looks like a decent back, a good back, a complimentary 1-2 punch type of back. But is he going to be the lead guy, the home run hitter type of back? I don't think he has that kind of potential.
To be fair, apparently ownership didn't allow Joe Douglas to spend a lot this past offseason. Not according to Connor Hughes. I mean, this is where you have your agendas, where Manish kept saying that, and then Brian Costello and Connor Hughes said it's not the case. This is what Joe Douglas's plan was. He has a vision for this year and next year his goal is to have $70 million and do a lot more spending. So then my rebuttal is the money you did spend wasn't spent well. So he's not getting a pass for the guys he brought in this year.
No, completely agree. Either way, something is wrong with that.
You can trade for a coach. The Jets already did it in the past. You trade for Parcells. Listen, I'm not opposed to it, man. I'm that desperate. I understand everybody wants Eric Bieniemy and all this. There's rumors of Matt Campbell.
Didn't we trade Herm also?
Did we? I think we did, right?
I think we did to the Chiefs.
Listen, I'm not opposed to it, man. I'm not opposed to it. I'm that desperate for a coach. No, this name. No, absolutely. Apparently, Brian Schottenheimer could be getting some head coach looks. Should the Jets budge? No.
We see his name every week.
I can't do it. I'm just, what it is? I'm so bitter and angry towards him for the way he left here and the things he did here and the mistakes he made but I don't know. Let's see. Hey, Tyson and Kevin, what does Adam Gase and Alex Trebek have in common? I'm not sure, but I think both of their careers are in jeopardy. Well played. Very well played. That's a good one. That's definitely got some.
Here for the jokes.
So what else are you gonna do, man? And tomorrow night we're 8:30. We're doing our preview show, which is gonna not preview pretty much anything. We're gonna do prop bets. We go through all the prop bets because if you don't realize, Primetime's our resident betting expert. So
had a good week last week. Shame we didn't do the show though.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, these storms are crazy, man. I work up in Somerset. They were hitting us earlier today. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, all day it's been coming down here.
Let's see. And then, like, the weird thing is, like, on Saturday, it's supposed to be like 45 degrees or 48 degrees or some nonsense. I'm like,
so there's like a chance of snow also or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Too early.
Let's see. Colin Coward says the Jets should trade the number 1 pick and get multiple first-rounders instead. If Gase stays, I hope they do. If Gase stays? Oh, I mean, the thought of that just makes me nauseous. The thought of Gase staying here and having that number 1 pick and then him having an influence on that player they pick. Prime time, your thoughts?
I don't even know how to respond. I mean, listen, I would have no issue, as I've stated, because I'm a believer in Sam Darnold. So if they decide they want to trade the number 1 overall pick for a huge haul, I'd be fine with it. But if it's because Adam Gase is staying, that's a problem. I want nothing to do with that.
How many points do the Chiefs win by? By as many as they want. They're gonna either at some point they're gonna call the dogs off and just have mercy on the Jets because Andy Reid's a classy guy. But they're gonna have their way. They can do whatever they want. They can win by as many as they want, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know what you think, but
I don't see any way this defense stops what the Chiefs could do because, this year especially, they've proven they can run the ball. They've only added more weapons. I mean, who is stopping Tyreek Hill? Who's stopping Travis Kelce? Who's keeping up with these guys? We don't have anybody.
Practice Bowl champs 2020. That is fact, man. This is the best practice team in football. Just ask them. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, the big news, obviously, is Trevor Lawrence having COVID. So hopefully he gets a healthy return. His family stays healthy, everybody else.
Yep.
It's pretty crazy, man, because, you look at it like the Giants, like every morning now, like the first thing you look at on Twitter, I look at is like, all right, is there any outbreaks? What's going on? Because you see it like the Giants had a guy. I think it was some other team had a guy. It's like, man, like, it's just these organizations in the NFL are dealing with so much adversity, man, where you could be like getting ready to board your plane to go to another city and you could be like, hey, we got to, go in quarantine.
Yep.
So,
and I heard a good point the other day. I forget where I was listening about, teams, especially like the Jets, like the Giants, who are basically out of it now. You wonder how those players are going to treat the last 8 weeks of the season as far as following all the protocols, not going out. Exactly. I think a lot of these guys are probably going to start checking out, and then you wonder how that's going to affect the rest of the league.
Coming from a Dolphins fan, you guys are entertaining. I look forward to your streams. Keep it up. Low-key love your guys' suffering. We appreciate it, man. Listen, we know it's what Jet fans, we're obnoxious, man. When we're doing something good, we're we talk a lot of shit and then we get humbled pretty easily too. So we got to give it, we got to take it. And it is what it is. Let's see, hit that like button. People, it's 300 of us. Please do. Please subscribe. We definitely appreciate it. Like I said, we just hang out, man. Tomorrow night, 8:30, we hang out, live stream on Sunday, and there'll be no ounce of seriousness during that game on Sunday. I guarantee you our live stream is going to be a party because you can't even take the game seriously. You can't even get mad on Sunday. Like it's like it's going to be an ass beating.
Question is, are we making a new bingo board?
I mean, we should, but we got to make it. We got to like really enhance it. Like how many times will Tyreek Hill score a touchdown untouched? Something like that. Like
I figured like an entire row of Le'Veon Bell props.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we'll have to go over that.
All right, cool.
Bro, Benigno, bro. Yeah, that's news today too. Joe Benigno, one more week on the fan. Yeah, I give Joe credit because he was for a while, not recently, but for a while, he was the voice of Jet fans because he was always so angry and he would call it like he would see it. And a lot of times, like I actually went on a road trip with him. I went to Jets Dolphins down in Miami. And I actually sat next to him for a game, and it was awesome. Like we tailgated together. It was awesome. But he was one of us, dude. Like you could talk about it. He would tell you stories, and we could all relate to him. Like this is bullshit and that's bullshit. And then as he got older and got a little bit more popular on radio, he calmed down a little bit. And he didn't start saying the same old stuff. But phenomenal career, man. Like his career at WFAN was just a lot of times. Like I could not wait to hear him Monday morning after a Jet loss. I couldn't wait for it, or Monday afternoon or whatever it was, 10 o'clock, whatever it was. But
Yeah, definitely. The last 4 to 5 years, he's kind of gone downhill a little bit. But even like when I was younger as a kid, I remember when he was doing the overnights, there would be a bunch of times where my dad, who also worked overnight, he would get home late from work and he would wake me up like because I would love those rants that he would go on, and he'd wake me up. Hey, Beningo's on, he's going nuts. I'd listen to it for like a half hour before going back to bed.
Yep.
That was awesome for me. Like he was the one guy that as a kid I really listened to, that I related to, as far as being a voice for the Jet fans.
And he was like a man of the people. Like he'd actually sit and talk. Like I always respect that. Like I'm gonna work. I'm gonna talk to Fireman Ed so we can get Fireman Ed on here. But he's another guy. Like dude, like Joe Beningo would sit and just talk to you, dude. Like you walk up to him, hey Joe, what do you think about this? He would literally sit there for 10 minutes and then he'd argue with you. Well, I don't think this is right. Like I forget what I argued him about. We were arguing for like 10 minutes about something down in Florida. But he was like one of the people. Like he was like a fan, like a fan's fan, and that's what made him so popular. Let's see. Sunday, Jets lose Monday. Sunday, Jets lose Monday morning. Kevin arrives at school, screams at his students for no reason, then them to write a 1,000-word essay on the Jets.
At the very least, this week coming up is it's election week, so I got Tuesday off, I got Thursday and Friday off, so get me through the KC loss.
Tyson Riles primetime deliberately. He's a button pusher like Parcells.
I've known this for 5 years. I deal with it.
I don't know what you're saying, man. That's ridiculous.
You always push buttons.
I don't push any buttons. I'm pushing the comment buttons right here.
Especially those soundbite buttons on Tuesday night.
Oh, you gave me all kinds of weapons now. Tyrone has no chance. Poor guy. Let's see what we got here. Yep. Let's see. Can Goodell pressure the Johnsons to sell the team? I wish he could. That'd be blessing. Try and get some. There's a good one here. The screen keeps refreshing, man.
I would love a Steve Cohen type of owner for the Jets. Just what we need.
Just keep A-Rod away. It will be a mercy second half. That's kind of my thing. I think the same thing. I think the Jets, they're going to get so many garbage yards and garbage points in the third and fourth quarter. They'll make things look respectable, but the overall thing is just not going to be good. Nice dog, man. Check this dog out here. Hey, thanks for showing my comment. Little puppy there.
Nice.
Fire Gase. Completely agree. I'm not really sure what we're waiting for. This is an interesting one, man. And this was somebody that brought this up to me today, too. Was like, what do you think about the Patriots tanking and stealing Lawrence? We played them twice. Edelman's out now. He's out for a couple of weeks because of the thing.
Yep.
Cam Newton's playing like shit.
I brought that up on Tuesday night also. It would not shock me at all. Patriots know they need a quarterback. Belichick is clearly seeing life without Brady is a lot tougher than he probably thought. Wouldn't shock me at all. They're clearly in that tank mode now, too, I think.
I hope Le'Veon Bell goes off. Me too, man. I want 100 yards. I want 2 touchdowns. I want some dancing in the end zone. I want a ball dropped by Gase's foot. Like, I'm in for all of it.
Yep.
I will be actively rooting for Le'Veon Bell on Sunday. Not even gonna lie about it.
Same.
I even have like the sad thing is like, know what the worst part about being a Jets fan is like I'm legitimately a Le'Veon Bell fan. So the minute they signed him, I got like an autographed picture. I bought all this shit. And it's like within it's like you look at it, like you have all this shit that's just useless. I have so much worthless memorabilia. We could do a show, dude. I have a closet full of worthless memorabilia that I thought at the time was really nice. It's all useless. Like guys aren't here anymore. It's just.
How do you think I feel about my Todd Super Bowl shirt?
Oh my God, man. This we got here. How do you see Mosley's contract working out in New York? It's bad. What do you do?
He'll be back next year, though. I mean, he's going to be back. I don't think you're going to find a team that's going to take on his salary. So he's probably coming back.
You guys need to step it up. You guys need to step it up with the drinking games. Instead of beers, let's try some Caparinas.
What is that?
I'm not going to last a quarter with the bingo.
What's Caparina?
Rodrigo, man, what are you doing this? You want us to step it up? You see how bad we got last Sunday? That was a disaster. Primetime was trying. In all fairness, though, Primetime got his shotgun down now. He has a technique down.
I did.
You watched some film. Now he's got to just improve the timing on it.
Unlike Adam Gase, I actually watched the film. I learned from my mistake. I corrected it mid-game. I was proud of myself for that.
All right, Primetime. This next comment, you got to translate it for me. All right.
All right, I'll try. All right, so Moneybags. You got to call up the new coach. I don't know. I can't. I thought there was some hidden message for who the coach should be that they should call, but I have no idea.
You should have asked Gase if he calls first down Gore runs based off Jets bingo.
Trying to get this hammered.
Dude, that last week was brutal, man. Benigno was best on overnights. He was. That's when he could really talk. It was really good. Love Carton coming back. Yeah, I mean, be interesting to see how him and Evan Roberts do. Because Carton's he's just a wild card, man. He could just go on some just chaos.
I think he's exactly what WFAN needs, though.
Yeah.
They've experimented with all these different shows during the midday. Hasn't really worked out. I think he's probably going to bring some of that that audience back that they lost with Francesa.
Yeah, I mean, some of it's getting kind of monotone. It gets kind of boring at times. You're just kind of like you listen to it, and then it's like I think the problem with Joe and Evan sometimes is they get kind of removed from the team. They're not watching as closely as they should be, and like they're like you used to always like look at them for like the really good insight, like that fan take, and they kind of throw things out there like that's not true. It's almost like listening to Boomer and Gio sometimes,
Yep.
All right. Thoughts on what Zuniga is going to show in his debut? What do you think, Prime Time?
I'm not too high on Zuniga, especially this early after being injured, coming back. I mean, I'd like to see him, peak a little bit by the end of the year. But, I feel like his ceiling is probably, that of a Jordan Jenkins. I don't think he's going to be, this game-changing pass rusher. But, we haven't seen him on the field yet. So who the hell knows what he could be?
I mean, if anything, Bryce Huff's been encouraging. Hopefully he could do the same thing. Yeah. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, and Franklin Myers, both those guys.
Tyson, this question is for you. If Todd Bowles sucked, how come he's doing phenomenal with Tampa? Well, in Tampa, he's a defensive coordinator doing the same thing he did in Arizona. He had a phenomenal defense. Now let's see him take that what he did, learn from it, and coach a team again. I mean, he didn't understand how to manage a game. His roster management was horrendous. Time management was awful. How many times I'm not going down his path again. Listen. And the thing is, like, I like Todd Bowles. If you look at Todd Bowles as compared to Adam Gase, he's a stand-up guy. He's a very good guy. He did a ton of things in the community. I mean, we went to I was with Jay. He went on a Tuesday night in New York City after a really bad loss and sat there for 2 hours and answer questions from fans to raise money for Mo Wilkerson's charity. And dude, I asked him, I'm like, Coach, this is brutal, man. I had like a couple drinks with me. I'm like, this is brutal. I'm like, fans are miserable. He's like, how do you think I feel? Yeah, I mean, you were right.
Yeah, I was there for that.
So, I mean, he's just.
I think like you said, I think the big problem with him is that he can run a defense just fine when he's defensive coordinator, and that's his only responsibility. But overseeing an entire team and, assigning the right guy to run your offense, which he couldn't do, 3 coordinators in 4 years. There were a number of things. Like you said, the in-game adjustments were also a problem with him. Not as bad as they are now with Bowles, but certainly they were a problem. The team would constantly melt down in the fourth quarter, including the defense as well, which is on him. So there were a number of issues with him as a head coach, not a defensive coordinator.
And the thing about Bowles is that you think he had that experience in New York in just a place where there's no patience whatsoever. You lose that game in Buffalo, which is just unfathomable. I mean, it was that just sucked the life out of everybody, including both of us. But it's hard to come back from that. Then the whole Fitzpatrick thing, everything else. But now he goes to Tampa Bay. He has his defense back playing phenomenal football. He could probably learn some things from Bruce Arians. He could learn some things watching Tom Brady play. He deserves a second chance. Like, I have no problem with the team giving him a second chance. Like, I don't hate Todd Bowles. It just didn't work out here. Like, he's a respectable dude. Like, he did so much in the community. A lot of things nobody knew about until he left. Things I never knew about. So I don't hate him. It just didn't work out. Like, I hate Adam Gase. I literally hate this guy. Like, I have anger towards him.
I was just going to say, unlike Adam Gase, Todd Bowles, like you said, he was a respectable guy, did things in the community. He was a guy that you could respect. You might not always like him as far as what he does, on Sundays, how he coaches the team, play calls, things like that. But
most players loved him.
Yeah, the human being Todd Bowles, I had no issue with him. So I hope he gets a second chance somewhere.
Tyrone's name should be Pancake because he flips so much, changes his stance every 2 minutes. In all fairness, we throw Tyrone to the wolves because he's only on once a week with us on Tuesdays, and Primetime and I are doing this like 5 days a week. And I know how to get the Tyrone. I know how to get him flustered. And then you saw it. I waited on Tuesday. I waited for the comment. I just waited for it. And like he just gets all caught up and gets so emotional, he gets all fired up. But I love him, man. I think he's hysterical and he's an excellent fan. He knows his football inside out and backwards. But we grind him, man. Like we've been doing this a while, so we know how to bust his balls a little bit.
That's how you make him better. Got to give him the hard questions.
Got to throw him to the wolves. Do you think it's a safe bet that Bell runs for 100 and gives Gase the finger?
Yes, and yes.
He'll do something. He should do the little ball drop thing right take the 15-yard penalty. It's worth every yard. Just drop the ball by his foot.
I would love it. I would love it if he did, but I think he's probably going to choose the more classy approach. He's with the Super Bowl team now. He's not going to do anything stupid there. But I'm rooting for him. I hope he gets to 100 yards. I hope he gets a couple touchdowns and gets to prove that it wasn't him. It was the system.
Remember when Baker played the Bengals and ran by his ex-coach in the sidelines just staring at him? I hope Bell does that to Gase. Me too. Like I'm here for all of it. I'm here for all the taunting. I'm here for all of it. I'm embracing it. Like you watch our live stream, I'll be actively cheering for Le'Veon Bell. I'm not even gonna hide it. I don't care.
Same.
Let's see. Todd Toilet Bowls. Let's see. I got a Jay Cutler for Pro Bowl shirt when he came to Miami under Gase that one year. Man, we got some. Listen, we could do a show on bad memorabilia. I have just an embarrassing closet full of shit right now.
I got my Hackenberg jersey somewhere.
Greatest Jet of all time. Well, does that mean a player that we've actually seen or based on the history of the organization? I guess we could probably do both, right?
Well, I'll start with the player. I mean, that I've seen. Having watched the team for about 30 years, greatest guy I've seen by far, Revis. Best at his position. Nobody close. Probably best all time at his position. I think you can make the argument him versus primetime Deion Sanders. So yeah, I mean, I didn't get to see a lot of the guys before him as far as Gastineau, Klecko, and some guys like that. Namath. But yeah, greatest Jet of all time for me. It's got to be Revis.
I mean, Revis, that year he had was phenomenal. Klecko was just so good, man. So good. I mean, dominant player. That's a good question. I mean, obviously, I think everybody's going to say Namath, but I didn't see him play, so I couldn't really tell you. I guess my lifetime, I'd probably say Klecko, Revis. Other than that, I mean...
The things Revis did in that 09 season, I mean, he went against Andre Johnson, Megatron, Reggie Wayne. Who else was there? I mean, number of number one wideouts. And every game, it was literally like the same stat line. 2 catches, 11 yards, 1 catch, 5 yards. Never saw anything like that. And he did it all by himself on an island, which was just crazy.
Primetime shotguns of beer like Adam coaches a team.
True. The first one.
Yep.
But I got it right the second time.
Now the jokes are coming out. Huge Curtis Martin fan. Wesley Walker, Curtis Martin. Wesley Walker was a phenomenal receiver. Curtis Martin. I mean, listen, if you're going to compare Curtis Martin to Revis, I think the difference is Curtis Martin was a very good running back. Was he the best running back in the NFL? I mean, the one year he had the rushing title, but I mean, Revis was like arguably like the NFL player of the year. Like he was an NFL MVP. He got screwed in that voting, which is ridiculous, but he was the best player in football. Was Curtis Martin ever that? I don't think so.
I don't think.
I love Curtis.
Yeah, same. Curtis is my favorite all-time Jet, but I don't think there was ever a time you could say that he was the best at his position. And even the year that he won the running title, he was I think like 30 years old at that time. Yeah. That was more a product, I feel like, of the offense around him, that offensive line, which was still stout pretty much every year that he was here. So yeah, he was very consistent. Pro's pro, great leader, all that stuff. But as far as being the kind of back, I guess, that was like a Barry Sanders, literally the best at his position, you can make that argument for Darrelle Revis. He was that for at least 3 to 4 years. Yep. I don't think there was ever a time you could say that about Martin. As much as I loved him, I don't think you could say that about him.
Joe Namath is one of the greatest players of all time, made the NFL an unmissable show to watch, but in my time, Revis Island was always the most fun to watch. Yeah, like I said, I didn't see Namath play. I mean, I saw the highlights like everybody else saw, but I don't know. And there's certain guys, like I love like Curtis Martin, like, you love, Mawai and Nick Mangold and all these guys, Keyshawn and Corbett, Altoon. Yep. But let's see. If you guys were selected to coach the Jets, would you guys be offense or defense? What would you be, Primetime? You're probably.
I'd probably want to be offense. I'd like to.
I want defense.
I'd like to think I could be somewhat innovative and take some deep shots down the field. I'd make sure that was a part of my repertoire every single game. To stretch the field a little bit, work up tempo, put the defense on their heels. I feel like I can get players to buy into that.
Yeah, I'm all about defense, man. I'd be attacking from every different angle. I'd give Todd Bowles a run for his money. I'd be batshit crazy though. You'd be like, "You just did what?" I'm like, "Hey, man, worth a shot."
Jets should bring us in. Shit.
Revis Island was the best player I watched when I was young. He was a beast, but he got a chip with the Patriots. I mean, Keyshawn got a ring with the Buccaneers. Victor Green went to the Patriots. I mean, it just happens.
Jamal Adams and Le'Veon Bell over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what do we got here. This is an interesting thing too. We got this last week too. If Anthony Lynn becomes free from the Chargers, would you guys like him as our head coach? Hopefully we get a new one. I like Anthony Lynn. I'm not going to lie. I do.
But do we really want to? I don't know.
He's got some bad luck out there, man. I mean, they got bad luck with just the move and all the chaos and moving on from Phillip Rivers and Tyrod Taylor puncturing his lung, and now Herbert's playing great.
I don't know if I want to go with the guy that's just getting fired. unless it's, again, a prominent guy that's got a proven resume. I mean, Lynn's not a bad coach. He might end up being our best option, but I feel like with, guys like the enemy out there, some college coaches that maybe would be willing to come here, I feel like I'd like to go those routes first.
I like what I've seen from guys like Terrell Basham and Bryce Huff. I think that they can have a future with this team. John Franklin Myers, hopefully Zuniga.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, man. Other than that, there's not really much to be proud of in that defensive front, right? Quentin Williams, obviously.
Yeah. And even those guys, though, good situational pass rushers, probably, good role players, somebody that can replace a Jordan Jenkins if he leaves in free agency. Okay. But you still don't have that dominant guy that can change games coming off the edge, which we so desperately, we've needed it since John Abraham.
Yep. Let's see. We'll do a couple more. We'll wrap this up here. As a Browns fan, I want to say that the decline in New York Jets D most likely is due to Greg Williams' methods. His approach wears on the players, especially after some success, eventually just exhausts the team. That was the wrap. We talked about that prime time this offseason, where year 2 of his defense, how does it go? They take away Jamal Adams and Mosley, but Mosley didn't play last year. But
yeah, same story with his defenses. Second year, third year, that's usually where he has the problems, and even more so when you take away, his top 2 players. That's kind of what you got to expect.
Pennington had the best clock management. Chad was smart, man. He was smart. He'd be an excellent offensive coordinator, excellent quarterback coach. He's coaching at high school. Is he coaching high school?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Super accurate. It's just unfortunate how his freaking arm got hurt, man. That was it. So, hi, what's up? What's up, Dennis?
What's up, Dennis?
When your team sucks, you got to revert to he does a lot for the community. Come to the Ravens, Flock Nation. The Ravens have a good fan base, man. I've been there a couple times to go see Jet games. But the whole thing with Todd Bowles, I respect Todd Bowles, and he did so much, man. I don't hate him. Adam Gase, I could drive him to the airport, kick him in the ass, and he can go. Todd Bowles, when he left, you're like, you know what? We appreciate it. Take care. There's not ill will towards him.
At the time, there was,
but not like we have now, dude.
No, definitely.
This is 10 times worse. Because Sam was at least playing good under Todd Bowles. That was actually exciting, right?
Yep, that's true.
There's nothing exciting about this shit. Let's see here. Keep going down. So many comments, dude. This live chat sucks. What a bore. And you're still watching. Amazing.
Yeah. Thanks, Kev.
Good night, guys. Thanks.
All right.
So with some positivity, right? Thanks for the content, fellas. Appreciate it, Renee. Oh, yeah. Oh, this one. Is Darren Lee a good pickup for the Bills? I don't know much about him. Welp. Let's see. He's got speed. He's decent on special teams. Maybe used as a blitzer.
I was gonna say, that third year, I thought he was starting to come on. What did he have? 3 interceptions, 3.5 sacks, something like that. It seemed like he was starting to come on, but then at the end of the year, he tested positive. I think it was for steroids. Yeah. So you don't know if that played into it. And then he gets traded for a late round pick to KC. Doesn't really do anything there. So I don't really know.
Yeah, he went to Kansas City and play at all. He got a ring though. He hasn't really signed nowhere else. He can run. He could definitely run if you put him in the right defense. You just maybe let him blitz. I don't know. Special teams.
Yeah, he's definitely athletic. He's definitely athletic. So.
Yep. Let's see. Big fan, guys. Sam Darnold was always a second-year project coming out of college. Why is he regressing so much? Not reading blitz and dumping the ball off, etc. It seems like it's a comedy of things. To be honest with you, it's the offense, the play calling, the pieces around him, the pressure that's on him, just the damage that's been done between a terrible offensive line. It's a litany of things, right?
Yeah, every single one of them. And again, you look at other quarterbacks around the league who have, the right coach, the right system, maximizes what they do well. They prioritize offensive pieces and wide receivers and the offensive line. And, we tried to prioritize the offensive line this year, kind of worked with Becton, not a whole lot elsewhere. Wide receivers, tried to replace Perriman or Robbie Anderson with Perriman. That didn't work out at all. And the rest of the pieces, guys like Herndon are regressing, got rid of Le'Veon Bell for nothing. I don't know.
Tyson would call all-out blitz 75% of the time. Yeah, man. Listen, I'm defensive coordinator. I'm going for blood in every play. It's going to be attack from every different angle, from everywhere. And then I'll probably get torched for 400 yards on bombs, the vertical passing game. But
See, you can tolerate it though when you lose like that. You know, when you're going after it and you're blitzing, you're trying to be aggressive. If you get beat, so be it. When you're sitting back and just kind of letting the offense pick you apart piece by piece, and you're just sitting 10 yards off the ball, that's where I get a little pissed off.
All right, we'll do 2 more here because we wrap things up. Thanks, guys. No problem, Salvador. Let's see.
Bridgewater just got rocked in the head.
Did he?
Yeah.
You guys are getting us Jets fans through this horrible season. Thanks for doing everything you do. Thanks for joining us, man. Tomorrow night, 8:30, we're going to do a preview show, which is going to be no preview at all prop bets. We're going to talk about the best bets for the game because it's, everybody's saying that. He must have got smoked, huh?
Yeah.
Teddy's hurt again. Let's see. One more. It's Gase. Yeah, I mean, the Sam Darnold thing. Like once this season's over, what happened?
Robbie Anderson just missed a one-handed touchdown.
I gotta go watch this game.
In the rain.
Bell will have more yards than Darnold and all the tight ends combined times 10. I hope he does. I'm rooting for him. I really don't care. I like Teddy Bridgewater too, by the way.
Yeah.
There you go. You got to vote of confidence here, prime time.
I'll take it.
All right. One more. What if you guys became Jets coaches? Okay.
That'll never happen.
No. They will. First of all, they would never talk to us, and then we get fired after 1 week because you fans hate us.
Start cursing the press conference, and then we're fired.
Great show, guys. All right, with that, we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys for joining us. Kind of an impromptu thing. We want to thank Coach Gase for joining us tonight too. That was we got an interview with Coach Gase tonight for 20 minutes. That was very special. We're very blessed for that. And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow night, 8:30. If you can't make it, Sunday, 10 minutes before game time, and then 15 minutes after the game because we just got nothing else to do. So we'll talk to you guys later.
Talk to you later.